Hi, welcome back, and we finally have Assetto Corsa Competizione for console. So I'm running it on a PS4 Pro, and my rig, I'm using a T300, and this is the open wheel rim add-on that I'm using with this. So what's it like is the main thing. Well, I'll be honest, it's a bit of a mixed bag, and that's kind of to be expected. This is a title that's very demanding to run on PC, and a lot of people, including the developers, initially said it was never coming to console at all. Yet here it is, and details have been quite light on the ground even leading up to the release, which has had a lot of people worried. So first of all, let's get the bugbears out of the way. Graphics wise, visually, the interiors, the cockpits, are really well done and do look pretty good, but we are running at 30 frames per second. It does occasionally drop, even on the PS4 Pro, but it's livable with on a Pro. What it's like on a base PS4 or base Xbox One, I honestly don't know. That could be a bit more challenging, to say the least. Gameplay tends to run better than replays, but replays have always been, even on the old Assetto Corsa, a bit of a weakness, particularly when it's raining on ACC. It does look a bit ropey. Fortunately, it's a lot better and a lot more stable, certainly on the Pro anyway, when you're in-game and in gameplay, which is what you can see right now. So yeah, visually 30 frames per second. Does have the occasional slowdown, but you know, it's, for me, it's usable. I mean, you've got to think WRC8 runs at 30 frames per second, and I don't personally have any issue with that. So let's get those out of the way. That's done and dusted. Now, some reviews I've seen from various gaming websites have complained about the lack of content, but I think that's a bit of an unfair accusation to level at it, being perfectly honest. It's the Black Pan series official game, so it's going to be limited to GT3 cars. It's going to be limited to the tracks that are involved in that. Now, at launch, you are able to get the Intercontinental Pack, which adds 4 additional tracks on there, which is good. So you get Laguna Seca, you get Bathurst, you get Suzuka, and you also get Kolama as well, which are 4 good inclusions in my personal view to throw on there. And obviously you get all the GT3 cars from the various series. You also get the Lamborghini Super Trofeo, which is used for the start of the career mode, and that's pretty much about it. But the start of the career mode is worth doing because it does get you to grips with what the cars handle like, racing in the wet, and also driving at night, all of which are new to Assetto Corsa Competizione. Which then leads me to the main thing, which is, what does it drive like? And the simple answer to that is absolutely superb. It really, really is stunning. It takes what we've got from Assetto Corsa, which was by a small margin over Project Cars 2, the best of the console sims, and it builds on that. So everything, the force feedback is excellent, the physics are excellent, you can actually feel really well what the traction and circles doing, particularly in the wet weather driving is absolutely superb in this, and the way they've incorporated the traction control etc works extremely well on top of that, so you can feel the traction control working underneath you. There's a multifunction display which allows you to access a lot of this stuff quite easily as well. So the handling is what you would expect, the physics are what you would expect, the force feedback is what you would expect, which is basically the best there is on console. And the fact that you've got that with time of day changes, you've got that with variable weather conditions, you've got that with, you know, the physics model that's there, and the AI is exceptionally good as well. I'm really pleased with how the AI's come across in this, because when Assetto Corsa first launched on console, the AI was quite frankly appalling. This is much better. The thing I really like about it is the way it encompasses the entire series and the actual racing within it. You know, you get additional credit for completing a full weekend, so following through all of the stints from practice, the 2 qualifying, the 2 races. That's in the career, the sprint mode that I'm running through at the moment. You know, and the shortest of the races in there are 20-minute affairs, which really does push you not just to be on the pace, but also consistent. And that's a key factor behind this, being perfectly honest, is being consistent. One interesting thing that I must confess I wasn't really expecting is the way that absolutely every part of your driving experience is scored and ranked and followed and tracked, from your performance around circuits to how consistent you are to your pace, etc. All of this is kept track of and ranked. One interesting thing is, obviously, with Project Cars 3 coming out soon, a lot of people have been very down on it for featuring those kind of tools, which is really quite interesting, considering that's exactly what we've got in ACC, and I can pretty much guarantee the same people will be remarkably absent in regard to its criticism within this, which I find quite odd, but there we go. Oh yeah, a couple of other negatives, and this particular clip here, you can see the weird effects in the rain on the replays with this kind of ghosting box around the rear wing there and the back of the car. But, you know, it's not terrible, but they should be able to patch it out, hopefully. No button box support, no UDP support at launch, and worst of all, criminal, no field of view support. But for me, it doesn't detract from the title. If you're after a sim racing title on console, this is the one, being perfectly honest. It takes what a lot of people consider to be boring cars, GT3s, and shows you just how challenging it is to be quick and consistent over longer race distances with them. There's a lot to offer, so I'm going to come back and do more videos as time allows that looks at, you know, the entire series. There's DLC packs coming, which is going to add more circuits. It's going to add GT4 cars, but you know, considering the price, which is 35 quid at launch with the Intercontinental Pack thrown in, I personally think it's a bargain and don't consider it light on content for what you're getting. Is it a bit rough around the edges? Yeah, absolutely it is. But again, it's 35 quid at launch. And as far as a sim title goes, if that's what you're after, this delivers in spades. It really does. So if you're a casual racing fan, I would struggle to recommend it, because it is a bit too serious for that. It's quite demanding. You are going to have to learn how to drive. But if you're a sim racer and you want something, go for it. Okay, so that's my first views. If you've enjoyed this, please do like and subscribe, and I'll catch you again soon. Thanks very much.